Hey, who doesn't like looking at $5 million homes online? But when you're looking to buy your first place, there's a right way to start the home search. So, in today's episode, we're going to walk through that process and helping you start your home search the right way. Welcome to the Homeowner Prep podcast, where every week we educate and encourage aspiring homeowners to help them buy their first home faster. If you aspire to own a home, you're in the right place. So enjoy. Do us a favor and leave a review, a rating, and be sure to subscribe. Now let's get to this week's episode. Hey, real quick before we start, I want to ask you a question. How long are you going to wait before you decide to get started? I mean, you want to buy a house and you're earning income, so what's holding you back? Visit our website at homeownerprep.com/start. You can take an online assessment and set up a free 30-minute call, and we're going to put a plan together to help you get from where you are to where you truly want to be. So don't let fear hold you back from buying your first home. All right, now back to the episode. Hello and welcome to another great episode of the Homeowner Prep podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. Today we're talking about a topic that, we all love. I mean, whether you're actually in the market to buy a house or not, we all love to just look at homes that are on the market. Guilty, right? We're all just looking at homes, looking at the photos, looking at the 3D walkthroughs in the video. It's just so exciting to look at. Even my daughter looks at this stuff online. And so, we're all guilty of this. But when you're really getting serious about buying your first place, I want to make sure that you're starting that process the right way and going through the process to make sure that you can find a home that you truly love, that fits your budget and checks off all the boxes. And it'll help you to really kind of narrow the search. And as I get into this, I'll discuss what I mean by that. So the first thing is, like I mentioned, we're all guilty of looking online. We look at these multi-million-dollar homes, or you watch TV and you're watching, the HGTV, whatever the case may be. And you like to look at houses. In fact, most people actually get into real estate because they like to look at houses, which I don't understand. But when it comes to actually being ready to buy your first place, there are some steps that I want you to take before you start to get out and actually look at homes. The very first step, obviously, with Homeowner Prep is to talk to us and to find out how you can get started in buying your first place and making sure that you're set up for success. So, with our program, a free program, we will actually make sure that you've met certain criteria in order to go ahead and move forward with getting pre-approved. Now, I know you're excited and you just want to get the process started. You're looking online, you're going to open houses, whatever the case may be, but you'll actually do more detriment to yourself by starting the process there on step number 3 versus step number 1. And so that's why I encourage you that, if you're thinking about buying a home, whether you think you're ready or not, you just kind of want to start the process to get the ball rolling and see where you're at, definitely reach out to us and that's what we can help you to do. But in number 2 of that process, after you've worked with Homeowner Prep and getting some things in order, the second step is actually to get a pre-approval done. Now, the reason why I say to get the pre-approval done as a second step before you're actually out in the market is because you want to know what you can actually afford. If you're out and say you're looking at homes in your neighborhood and all the homes around you are all $1 million, but you make $5,000 a month, what is it going to take for you to buy this $1 million home? What are your payments going to be? How much do you have to put down? Can you do it? Yes. If you have a lot of money to put down on your home, you can actually control the cost of your mortgage. So there are ways to get you into that home, but you have to have a plan. And the pre-approval is the plan. Pre-approval process with a lender looks at your income, looks at your debt. So your credit report, your credit scores is going to figure out how much money you have to put down. If you have money to put down, if you qualify for down payment assistance, what loan programs are out there. Are there second mortgages? Are there grants? It's looking at all these different things to help you qualify for the most possible. You can't really start a home search until you know a price. Even when you go online and you're looking through an app, you're putting in a price. Yes, you may focus on your neighborhood, but what's the price point that you're putting in? And to get clarification on that, you need a pre-approval in hand. And so that pre-approval will help you not only understand the maximum price that you're qualified for, but what a payment actually looks like at that price. When we meet with clients, I often let them know, hey, chances are you're going to get qualified for more than you want. I know it sounds weird, but you may qualify for a $2 million house. But when you look at the payment on that $2 million home, that sticker shock might be real. And you may say, you know what, even though I qualify for that amount, this is where I want my payments to be, or this is where I'm comfortable, or this is what I can afford, which is vital. It's important that you're not just living to pay the mortgage. Obviously you have a life, you have other responsibilities. And yes, we want you to buy a home that you love, that's in your area that you want to be in, but ultimately we want it to be in your budget. The last thing we want to do is set you up and get you into a home that you cannot afford, and then you lose the home. So again, that's why it's important to, go through step number 2, which is actually the pre-approval process, and figuring out where you're at so that way you can understand what your payments are going to be. The next step in that is to actually get out and start to look at homes. Now, the right way to do this is not to just go to open houses, and it's not just to look online or through an app. The right way to actually start your home search after you've been pre-approved is to work with a licensed and experienced real estate agent in your area. If you don't know anybody, we can definitely connect you with a top agent in your area who knows your market well. But you want to work with an agent because they're going to have insight not only to what's on the market and active, but what could potentially be coming to market, what transactions may be having some issues and could be falling out of escrow and maybe an opportunity for you to jump in. So they're going to have a great understanding of what's going on in the market. And again, not only what's showing up on the MLS or what's showing up in your app. So that's why you want to work with an agent. The second part of that is when you do find a home that you want to make an offer on, if you're the buyer, you do not want to work directly with the listing agent. I know a lot of folks do this because they feel like, hey, I can get a deal or I can get my offer accepted over the competition. And that is true. I mean, that does happen. However, it's best for you to have your own representation. And I'm saying this as a licensed real estate broker. It's important that you have your own representation because that listing agent works for the seller. They don't work for you. Now, there's been a lot of lawsuits that have come up, especially here in California, about this dual agency and, kind of where's the loyalty of that agent? If you as a buyer are telling that agent, hey, I want to make an offer at this price, but I can really afford to go to this price. I'm a pre-approved up to this amount. If that agent goes to the seller and say, hey, they told me that they're offering this, but I know that they're qualified for this, so let's push back and let's counter their offer. Again, there's a conflict of interest there. And so that's why it's important that you as a buyer have your own agent. When you are a buyer, you don't pay your agent any money. You should not pay your agent any money. I know there's some services out there, that are charging buyers and some sellers that are asking the buyers to pay for their own agent. That's not the way it works. A seller is responsible here in America for paying both agents, on both sides. So they pay their listing agent and they pay your buyer agent the commission. So put them to work. They're working for you. They will get paid once a deal has closed. So they are working to get paid, but that's not coming from you, the buyer. So put your agent to work, get an agent, get representation. I can't stress that enough. When you have gone through the process of going through Homeowner Prep, getting pre-approved, starting your home search with an agent, and now you're submitting an offer, you want to make sure that you have a full understanding of that contract. So in every state, real estate transactions are handled very different. Some states will have a lawyer that will help you through the process. Some states will have escrow, so your agent will help you through the paperwork, and then escrow is kind of the third party intermediary. So they kind of will be a party that doesn't have any interest in either side. So here in California, we do use escrow companies, but have a full understanding of what to expect in that process. And that's what your agent is there for. They need to not only explain the step that you're in currently, but what's to come and what to expect. A good agent will prepare you for that process and making sure that you know what's coming to alleviate some of the stress of buying a home. It can be stressful, especially when you don't know what's coming up. So a lot of my clients know, I often tell them early in the process when we're first sitting down is, hey, this is going to be all new for you. But by the time we're done, my job and my goal is to have you become an expert in the home buying process. That way you can relay this to somebody else, So I'm going to help you to help somebody else. And so that's why it's so important that I'm giving them updates and letting them know what's coming and what to expect, because I want them to enjoy the process as much as possible. So that's how you search for a home the right way. Obviously, once you're submitting offers and you get an offer accepted, you're going to go through the escrow process, which, I've explained in earlier videos how that works. But I really just wanted to kind of dive into the home search process, because I think a lot of folks are out in the market. They're looking online, they're going to open houses, and they haven't been pre-approved. They don't know how much they can afford. They're submitting offers without that understanding. And honestly, you're setting yourself up for failure. And the worst part is you can actually get emotionally attached to a home. And then now that you're trying to go back and get pre-approved and you realize, hey, I don't qualify for this home, or it takes too long to get pre-approved. So now you lose out on the home because it goes to somebody else who came prepared. Those are things that happen. Those are things that I have seen. Unfortunately, people have talked to me and kind of given the stories of the things that they've had to go through. And so I want to avoid that as much as possible. So if you're looking to get started with the home buying process, if you're not quite sure if you're ready, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can visit our website at homeownerprep.com/start. And again, you can start wherever you're at, whether it's downloading an ebook just to understand the process. If you want to reach out and actually fill out an online assessment to see where you're at and to meet with a coach for a 30-minute consultation, which is free. Or if you're like, hey, I'm ready to go, I just need an agent or I need a lender to help me get pre-approved in my area, we can connect you with somebody who works in your area through our network. So we can help you no matter where you're at. So definitely visit our website at homeownerprep.com/start. And if you just have a general question that you want to ask, a quick question, you can always reach us on any of the social media platforms. We tend to get our questions on Instagram more often than not at Homeowner Prep. So you can reach us there as well. I hope you got some great value from today's episode. I hope now you'll start your home search a little bit different. And I look forward to providing you with some more great content on the next episode. Until then, be blessed. If you've enjoyed this show and got some great value from it, please be sure to rate and review. And if you're checking it out on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. That really does help us to continue the show and bring in some great guests to help you on your home buying journey.